So this is another video in the series for fundamentals of electrical circuit. This time what we're going to do, we're going to take another special case of mesh current method which uses KVL to analyze circuits. In this particular case, what's special for this case is the fact that we do have a current source, but this time is a shared current source between two meshes. Again, let's go back and label all the meshes. That is, we have a mesh here. Let's call that one I1. Then we got a mesh over here. Let's call that one I2. And then we have a mesh over here called I3. Now mesh, so since we're doing a mesh current, when we identified the mesh, the next step is for us to write the KVL equation for each one of the meshes. So I1 is pretty straightforward. We've been doing that earlier, and then we're going to continue to do that. It's going to be minus 10 plus 1000 I1. Again, we're going to make everything be in ohms, volt, and amp just to make sure we don't miss decimal points. So in this case, it's a 1K, therefore it's going to be 1000 I1 plus a 2000 I1 minus I2, and that whole thing is equal to 0. Now, if you notice, once you go to write the KVL for I2, you cannot write it because you do not know the voltage across this one. So you can go around the loop. You know what the current is through here, but you don't know what the voltage is. So what we'll do, we come up with a concept that we're going to refer to as a super mesh. So what we're going to do, instead of going around this mesh and then going around this mesh, we're just going to avoid the whole thing and we're going to go around the broader mesh. But we're still going to remember that the current through the 3Ks I2, the current through these guys are I3 and all of that. All we're going to do is we're going to try to avoid going around this. This is called a super mesh. So what we're going to do when we are writing the KVL, we cannot write for I2 alone, so we can write it for I2, I3, and we're going to call that super mesh, SM for super mesh. Now what happens here is now we're going to start and we're going to say, okay, 2000, we're going to start right here, work our way up, 2000, and still going to write it like we normally write it, I2 minus I1 plus 3000, and this time I2 is the only current in it, plus 5K, which is 5000, and I3 is the only current there, and then 15,000 I3 equal to 0. We went all the way around. Now we have three variables, I1, I2, I3, but we only have two equations, but no worries, because we know that I2 minus I3 is equal to 5M. So that's referred to as the super mesh equation. And for the super mesh equation, we can write that I2 minus I3 equals to 4.005M. Now that's very good, because now we got one equation, two equation, and three equation, and we have three unknown, I1, I2, I3. Just simplify it, solve it, you're done. So what is new in this particular case is that this is the mesh current method, which uses KVL, and the current source is in a shared branch. Current source lies in this shared branch, so you are not able to write each one of individually. You have to write for the super node, which is a combination of those two. That brings us to the end of this special case.